Hello, Wayne. How's it going?
Okay, Evan, how you doing?
Good, good. So we're going to be following up a little bit on what we talked about last session.
Mm-hmm.
This session is going to be a little different than the other sessions. It's more of, talking about what helped you out with coming here, figuring out like a game plan
Sure.
as to if you plan on coming back in the future and just keeping me up to date with your progress with everything. So, are you still going to those meetings?
I am, yeah. Went to one last night, and I'm quite surprised that I'm starting to pay attention to what people are saying in them now. So, and when I hear people talk, there's what they went through is very similar in many of them to what I went through. And the funny thing is some of the people, they're women, people who are of color, women of color, and it's like they went through exactly the same thing I did. And so there's a connection, and it's really kind of made me think about trying to take this a little more seriously. And I feel better because I haven't had anything to drink since I last saw you.
Right.
And my wife is planning on trying to go to an Al-Anon meeting, although she keeps saying, well, it's really your problem, not mine. And I'm trying to tell her, hey, it's not mine, it's ours. So.
Oh, well, what made her change her mind about that? She seemed more supportive
She
from
is
what you
supportive.
last talked to
She's
me.
supportive of me going, but
Right.
she's kind of thinking, why do you want me to go to a meeting when I'm not the one who's the drunk? And what I've told her is Al-Anon is not for the drinker, it's for the family member. And because she's been through, God knows what I've put her through.
Right.
And I would just like her to know that there are people out there who have been through it and are going to be able to talk to her about, well, this is what I went through. And, she'll hopefully be able to get some stuff off her chest. Because I don't want it bottled up in her, and then, I'm getting kind of okay, and she's not. Instead of us like this, I'd rather us kind of move along together. So.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense that you think that her going to the Allen, what's it called, Allen meetings?
Al-Anon.
Or the Al-Anon meeting. I probably can't even pronounce it that well. But you wanting to go to those meetings, that makes sense. It's interesting how she seems to be changing her tone on that, because the last time we met, she seemed, from what you're telling me, she seemed willing to go to those meetings, but now she's becoming hesitant to go.
Well, I wouldn't say she's hesitant.
Or appeared to be.
I just said to her, because she said she'd go. She did say she would go to a meeting, an Al-Anon meeting, and check it out. And then I said to her, there are a number of them a week. You could go to meetings. And then she says, I said I'd go to one.
Oh, okay.
And so maybe the tact I should maybe take is, instead of pushing her, just back off and let her deal with it, and I'll just deal with me, and then we'll just talk about it and see what she thinks of it, instead of because I talked to one fella a couple nights ago who said, his wife kind of felt the same way. She's like, well, I don't really have a problem. Then she started going to meetings and realized that she played her part, and she had to unload her baggage as well as her husband. And,
I see.
So, and I don't want to say that to her, to Sharon right now, because it's too early. And I've only not had a drink for I think 2 weeks now.
Oh, wow.
And so it's pretty early for me too. So I want to kind of ease up.
Easing up isn't a bad thing, and you are right. It's early in these sort of intervention stages. So I could see that you I can see that you are expressing the desire for her to go, just so she gets a better understanding of I don't know if what's going on is the right word, but just a better understanding that it's a team oriented
Sure.
intervention process, and hopefully those type of meetings will help her out. And I'm glad to see that you are taking more interest in these type of meetings, and it's fascinating that you're meeting similar people from different ethnic and gender backgrounds that have similar circumstances than you do. So I find that interesting. So moving on towards the closure process, because this is our 5th meeting, and I guess probably the final one for a little while. We'll talk more about that later as to when or how often you should come back here. So I have a few questions to ask.
Sure.
So one would be, well, first I wanted to say that it does seem to me that you are making progress, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm proud of you, and I'm sure that your wife is satisfied with your self-progress as well. So my first question is, how, just out of curiosity, how have these sessions helped you out with dealing with your circumstance?
Well, I think probably, I think initially I was thinking, I don't understand. I do what I need to do. Why is the system telling me I need to do this? And through doing that, through the system, and then to talking to you, you start to realize, because as I started processing stuff, especially when I was driving home from our sessions, from our meetings, that, I thought, did I really say that? And, so I think that it's been, you're an objective person who doesn't really have a player in the game. You're just kind of watching and observing. So that has helped me.
Thank you.
So, and I hope I'd like to continue, because I think that I want to go to the continue with AA, and I'm starting IOP in January.
Yeah.
And I've got to do some community service. So I'll have a full plate on top of work, but I'd like to make time at least once or twice a month, to get the objective. So.
Well, I'm really glad that you're making these suggestions, and I was actually going to suggest something similar to that.
Okay.
Like, once or twice a month is fine. I'll work around your schedule. I work from, typically I'm Monday through Friday. They have, this is generally closed on, actually it's typically Monday through Friday. I think some Saturdays, depending on when they need me, Sundays are closed. So whatever works around your schedule, I'll be flexible to that and pencil you in. And speaking on your mindset in regards to these meetings, is that part of my job is to be objective and to just observe and do what's best for the client. And I could also understand that you were hesitant to come by at first. And I think it's normal for human beings to be hesitant on a lot of new experiences, because it's hard to predict what results are going to come out of it and what to expect. But I'm very delighted that you are enjoying your sessions with me, and I enjoy your company as well, and hearing your stories and everything. So I'm really glad we can both agree to meet at least once or twice a month. that.
Okay.
The session will be closing soon.
Okay.
I got another client coming in a couple minutes, but so to wrap everything up, so once or twice a month,
Okay.
we'll meet and just keep on giving me updates on any sort of progressions that you make and meetings, and you could also tell me how your wife is doing with all this. I'm curious to hear about her experiences at her own meetings as well, and so I'm really glad that you are making progress and that we have the same mindset in terms of how often to come here.
Okay.
And
okay. I'll tell you, I will. Let me wait and find out. I got to go register at the outpatient. I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Find out what night I have to be there, and then after I find that out, I'll call, find out what your schedule is, and then I'll set something up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's no problem at all. I'll go off of you. I'm very flexible. I'm here practically all the time. So
Okay.
I'll see you again.
All right. Thank you, Evan.
Yeah, no
okay.
problem.
Have a nice holiday.
You too.